Today I'm talking about nutrition and fitness, my favorite passion. I've been doing nutrition fitness for 20 years now with people all over, trying to help them figure out what's the best way for them to live an active, healthy lifestyle. So we're going to jump in today and go over some of the contents of our conversation, our nutrition and fitness, and what does that mean? Exercise with energy balance. How do we figure out what the right amount of activity pairs well with your overall energy intake? So calories in, calories out in a sense. And then we have personalized nutrition. How do we make sure that it's what we do is personalized to you? And then we've got food is fuel. So how do we make sure that you are eating in a way that fuels your body, helps recover it, and gives you more energy? I even had a conversation today. I'm 40. I have 4 kids, 14 to 8, 3 boys and a girl at this moment in time. I was at my second son's field trip today. We went to an art school of art. And in that, the lady that was leading our group, we started talking about exercise and nutrition. She's in her 50s. She loves being athletic, and soccer is her passion. And she noticed there's just tons of aches and pains, and her body's just starting to gain body fat where she just doesn't want to accept it, which is great because you don't have to. So we talked about where she was at and what working together looks like. So it was a great, easy conversation to start figuring out what works for her. And certainly you can share in the chat what your situation is. I'd be more than happy. You can leave it as anonymous if you want, and I'd be more than happy to jump in and engage with that. So what is fitness and nutrition? Well, proper nutrition can enhance athletic performance, supporting your energy levels. We want consistent, stable energy levels all day long as best we can. You do not need to put up with a 3 p.m. slump or just not being able to get out of bed and hit the snooze button on repeat. There's ways to go about that with the exercise, nutrition, and obviously sleep that string together to get you higher levels of energy, ultimately making you more productive in the everyday things you need to do. Whether you're at work, at home, by yourself, you want to have energy to do those important things in your life. Muscle growth. Certainly we want to look and feel good and be toned. Muscle weighs more than fat, and muscle looks way better on the body than body fat does. And to the depth and degree of what your goals are, that's where the level of training coincides with a variation of focus on your nutrition. Sometimes people are a bit more driven and they want to maximize muscle growth, and others, most people, just want to be functional and look good in their clothes and feel good when they look in the mirror. Recovery. That's one of the things that the lady this morning talked about. She notices there's just more aches and pains. She can't perform like she once did. And recovery has an important part. So timing your food and nutrition can really lead to a better, impactful recovery, which leads to more and more support to reach your goals. Physical performance, certainly the more into exercise and activity you are, the more apt your performance goals will be. And I find that people that have performance goals, it could be something as simple as running a 5K, doing a 25 or 50 mile bike, or, just it could be something of, my son is 14 and I know he wants to do a push-up challenge here at some point. So I need to keep up with him and make sure he doesn't pass me. Long-term health and well-being. What does that mean? I'm 40. My goal is to look and feel the way I do when I'm 50. That's a decade goal from now. What that implies that I do need to be taking care of myself most days of most weeks of most months of most years. Doesn't mean I have to be perfect or spot on or any of that. It means that I have to trend in the way in which I am getting healthier and maintaining. Absolutely nobody wants to end up at the end of their life with poor health situations that not only cost them their time, literally the end of days time, but their time of living a productive lifestyle they're excited about doing. They can participate with their families or activities they enjoy doing. And just being well, living with some vitality throughout your life. The effects of poor nutrition. Of course, obesity, chronic illness and disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, type 2. That's onset in adulthood from poor nutrition. High cholesterol. A lot of these stem from obesity. Certainly there are potential genetic components and that come from your family. But in this day and age, in the way our nutrition and access to food and current lifestyles with how we work or operate in an everyday lifestyle, it generally trends toward if you're sick, there's something that you could probably do about it. It's not necessarily the nurture, but it's not necessarily the nature, like genetics, but it's the nurture, how your environment is in your everyday and how you manage that. This also blends over into the mind. Poor nutrition and lack of focus on yourself and your body, depression, anxiety, stress, inability to focus, brain fog, fatigue. These are things that come to my table every day with people. Because they don't look good, they don't feel good. And because they don't feel good, they are less motivated to take care of themselves, which is, say, an oxymoron. You'd think you'd want to take better care of yourself as you aren't doing so good, but that's just not how it works for humans. And therefore, it's easier to slip away from where your optimal health once was and how you just look good, feel good. And the farther you get away from it, the harder it is to remember how to get back there. That's really important too. If you haven't weighed a certain amount for 15 to 20 years, there's a disconnect there in the look, the feel of where you were at one point in time and where it needs, what you need to do to get there. And that can be a challenging gap. That's where, like say, I would come in to help lessen the impact of that. Now, let's go over the benefits of healthy eating. All right. We boost immunity by consuming nutrient-dense foods, vitamins, minerals, protects the body from certain diseases, contributes to unhealthy body weight, promotes emotional well-being, increases energy. Of course, we know these things. What do they produce in real-life reality? As we age, playing with grandchildren, showing up to activities with the family or being able to go do things. I know my wife, she's a big fan of Disney. I know we'll probably be taking our grandkids to Disney. And I'll want to make sure I can keep up with them in another ideally 20 years, 25 years would be nice to have grandchildren then, not in the next, 10 years, so 15-ish or whatnot. That would be 15 to 20. That would be nice. Have grandkids in 15 to 20 years. I'll actually feel like I'm an adult at that point. So the impact that diseases have, not only is it on your body, but it impacts the time. Think about how much time that you could be spending at a doctor's office or having to go get your medicine or take your medicine. People with type 2 diabetes have to track their blood sugar levels. They have to be medicated or maybe even need needles for shots to help manage that. So that's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. All right, let's move on. So proper fitness and nutrition, well, you prevent muscle fatigue. So you can just last longer. There's more stamina in your body. You have increased energy levels to continue to do the things you want to do. I have a number of clients that love pickleball. Great. Go work all day. Go play pickleball for an hour or two and feel like you don't have to stop when you're out there. That provides an even more enjoyable process for you to end up enjoying your activity, your stress, your health, and managing it all. Improved concentration. You can think clearly. Very simple. Just in your mind focuses and you're able to be more productive, increasing your output. Your ability to produce goes up in a lot of different areas in your life. Now, certainly for eating right, we're managing our weight. Could you imagine if the rest of your life you really never had to put a lot of effort or energy into how much your body weighs? In fact, you don't even own a scale. You just look in the mirror and your clothes fit. Yeah, how much time, mental energy would that save? How much time would that save? And so it's super important to focus on just bettering yourself. Enhances muscle growth, so we certainly want to have muscles on our body. You will be that much healthier. Supports recovery, the whole body from a cellular level. If you're getting lots of vitamins and minerals and lots of food variety into your everyday. Reduces risk of injury and illness. Who wants to catch a cold this winter? I said no one ever, right? Nobody wants to do that. That costs more time, more energy. You don't feel well. You are far less productive, and it really just sets you back. So it's really important to understand taking care of yourself equals you staying moving forward. Our bodies need energy. Energy, in the way we've created it and calculated it, is in the form of calories. It's the total amount of calories required for the physiological actions in your body, metabolism, and everything else that goes on. Even cellular rejuvenation. Your body is constantly working on regenerating itself, and even respiration obviously takes energy. Thinking takes energy. Workout and moving obviously are in line with what our general topic of conversation are today. Now, energy comes from food. Of course, that's what we label it as, food. On a deeper level, when I'm working with someone, I want people to see food as calories, protein, carbs, and fats. Protein, carbs, and fats are macronutrients of what makes up food itself and the calories. We don't want to get lost in what's healthy or not. That's a very subjective term and can lead you astray because you think something's healthy, but it's not necessarily improving the body, the energy, or whatnot. And we need so much energy in our life on an everyday basis. Where people get off track is they eat too much on an ongoing, regular basis. So as you need and use more oxygen and you're exercising, you're going to obviously burn more energy. You'll need more energy in form of calories. Now, energy expenditure, we've got exercise activity. These are the common things people think about. Your deliberate exercise in a day. You doing cardiovascular exercise, you doing strength training or any other classes, or you go out for a hike or a walk, or you are doing something deliberate with exercise or activity to burn specific calories. Certainly, energy expenditure, calories burned, varies depending on the intensity. Walking versus running. Run an hour or walk an hour, you're going to burn more calories in the hour of running, obviously. Now, sedentary, 10 to 15% of your daily energy demand is there just being, and then 30% of your overall daily energy is from actual demand. Okay, when you're actually moving in exercise. Now, even more importantly is what we call NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is daily movement that isn't deliberate. For example, I've been standing this whole presentation, fidgeting, moving. I got in a couple drinks, and I keep bending my body. This is extra calories that are getting burned as a result. My non-exercise activity burns a lot of calories and helps for easy weight maintenance strategies. And so just standing, or I walk and talk with people a lot on phone calls, mowing the lawn, weeding, playing with kids, cleaning, these everyday activities that we wouldn't necessarily put in the exercise bucket of calorie burning and energy expenditure. This is where it's at. So do pay attention to how much activity that you move. Now, if you're in a diet or a calorie deficit and you're trying to lose weight and you're eating less, your NEAT, your non-exercise activity, goes down. Your body regulates that downward because there's less energy coming in and you just subconsciously want to move less. So that's something to be mindful of, is if you are in a calorie deficit, you might be moving less and therefore you're not burning as many calories as you thought. Energy balance is complicated. This is why people hire me, to figure out how much food they should be eating and how it blends into their everyday life. It's very much a puzzle. I'm a big fan of one of the formulas that I use for people. It's a very easy concept. And I move this much, I eat this much, this is what my body does. With that generalized intrinsic formula, intuitiveness is implied. You can figure out roughly how many calories you're eating, roughly how much you're moving in steps or calories burned in a day, and then that starts to show up in your body in the scale and how you look and feel. Now, factors to this are individual environments, genetics, hormones, digestions, your ability to absorb the food that you're eating, physiological, psychological stressors. Stress plays a very big role, way more than you could think it does. Women have a bit more hormones that get played into the course of action for managing their body weight and energy levels as well. So and then also say the individual environments of what is your fitness history the last 10, 15 years of your life? Have you just been sitting around and doing work and driving and not really being as active as you could? Well, you're going to have less muscles, period, in that situation. Okay? There's less muscle mass in general because you haven't moved much. But if you've been consistently maintaining exercise and activity, it's likely that the exercise will have stayed consistent to help with muscle management and keeping as much muscle on your body as you could. Now, exercise with energy balance. Let's jump into this. High intensity, short duration. This is your sprint intervals. This is where you're going to think of like an Orange Theory class, a boot camp, a F45, interval training, HIIT, HIIT, high intensity interval training. So those are other ones are CrossFit, cycling, sprinting, mountain biking, speed skating, strength sports. Carbs are used during the exercise and fats are mostly used after. It's important to understand that your body is a carbohydrate burning machine. Eating carbs helps recover your body and give you the energy that you want to do the exercise and activity. Nobody wants to go into a workout routine feeling sluggish. That's not very motivating, and it takes twice the amount of effort mentally to get past that hurdle of just showing up to do the work. Next up, we have low intensity, long duration. These are our longer things. They're going to burn more energy throughout the time, of course. Going for a 2-hour or 3-hour hike, a long bike ride, walking a lot. These are going to, after the exercise activity, the total energy expenditure turns to resting baseline. Whereas in HIIT, your resting energy expenditure could be elevated slightly afterwards. So that's important. There's a good blend of the both. You want to do long duration with occasional sprints or sprint-like activities to help in blending walking, hiking, long bicycling with strength training, sprints, and repeats in a sense, or boot camp classes can create that dynamic blend that we're looking for. So how do we choose the right exercise? The fuel you burn during exercise is a percentage of your overall day. Okay, look at the time you can realistically dedicate to the purposeful exercise. Can you do an hour a day, or do you need more? Most importantly, I will piggyback this every single time, especially if I'm working with someone new. We're just going to do something that they like to do. Doing that ensures that the hurdle of trying something new is just literally out of the way. We'll want to avoid doing things like that straight away. We want to do things that you love. So if you love yoga, great, we're going to do yoga. If you love walking, great, we're going to walk. If you love doing high intensity intervals, great. Long bike rides, great. We're going to start there, because as soon as you understand what proper energy balance is and how to eat adequate enough calories, then we're off to the races. Exercise isn't just the only way that you can burn energy or body fat. You can just control it by how much you eat in relation with how much you move. What can you do physically is where we're going to start. I have a simple saying, which is, can I work out tomorrow? Very simple to think about when it comes to how much should you do today. I had a gentleman ask me just the other week or so, hey, I want to go on a long walk with a ruck pack. Rucking is walking or hiking with weight. So he'd wear this vest that had 30 pounds in it. Like, how about we start off small and start to add in the next 2 weeks? Still cover the same amount of mileage overall, but as we continue to go, you can do a higher percentage of the overall distance with the weight vest on as we go. Now, the biggest reason for that is so that he doesn't get hurt. Can't exercise, can't burn more calories if you get hurt. It doesn't work that way. Energy imbalance. Overall energy balance is important for optimal performance and doing the things you need to do beyond, performing. If energy intake is too low, the body will slow down its metabolic functions that it has to preserve what energy is left. So your metabolism will slow down. Your metabolism is adaptive. I mentioned earlier the NEAT activity slowing down. You just will want to move less. You'll feel more physically tired, and the hurdle to get into movement becomes bigger. The gravitational pull of the couch becomes greater. Slows down with your exercise as well. You just don't want to work out. You'd much rather just go home and relax, in a sense, rather than exercise more. Your performance worsens, your fatigue worsens, obviously. Now, energy balance. What we have here is eating a good diet can help provide the energy you need to finish a race or enjoy a casual sport, right? Having balanced foods provided with enough calories, with adequate amounts of carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats, drinking plenty of water, and then getting your vitamins and minerals through a wide variety of food, and even supplementing with, say, a multivitamin could work out really well for you. Now, what is personalized nutrition? How do we get it to you? Well, for athlete and active individuals, we always have to consider energy needs, how much you're actually moving in a week or in a day, in a week. If I have a runner, I want to know how many mileage they're running in a day or across the week to help influence my prescription of how many calories they should be eating and at what times. Macronutrient ratios, they range from a 40% carbs, 30 fat, protein, and fat, 30% there. That could be a very balanced approach. If you are a very high carbohydrate active person, you might need more carbs. You could be all the way up to 50% of your carbs in a day could be from carbohydrates. Now, timing. With timing, we want, for active individuals, you want to fuel your activity, your exercise, and make sure that there's adequate amount of calories available before, during, and after. I had a gentleman in Atlanta, Jerome, go for a 20-mile run yesterday, or today's Tuesday, so that was on Sunday, so 2 days ago. He had 20 miles. I asked him how many calories he ate during the run itself. He had over 600 while he was moving. Why? We talked about it. We have a strategy of which he implements into his everyday with his activity level. And that's important. So before and after are really key times to get more carbs in. Now, periodization too. We do need to have periods where you're a lot more active and then times where you are less active. In general, periodization is a 3, 4, even 5, 6 weeks worth of building the volume and intensity up. Then having a breakdown. You'll have some time which you're able to rest, recover, and reprieve and not get weighed down. So that's periodization 101. So it's like think of 3 weeks, you work out more each week, more intense, more longer. The 4th week is more of a rest week, an active recovery week, something that you're still moving, but not as intentional or long in duration. Now, with seniors and aging populations, say 60 or above, your nutrition plan needs to be targeted toward nutrient-dense foods, proper protein intakes to mitigate the loss of muscle mass. That's right, people. The older you get, the less muscle you're going to have on your body. So prioritizing strength training and activity now is vitally important to your long-term health and functionality. So you can actually do something when you're in your 70s and 80s and not just get pushed around in a wheelchair. Nobody wants that. Now, your kids don't want that either for you. Your cognitive health is obviously important. We want to have our functions and our ability up in the brain to be with it. Social emotional factors. Being engaging with others. As humans, we are a social species. We need other people to connect with and feel better. That's just how we live. You can't do things in a bubble. So by taking care of yourself, you can make friends. By going even on a walk, you can make some friends. Now, for busy professionals, this is a lot of the people I work with. Everyone's busy. They're carrying and juggling a lot of activity. We're looking to consider time efficiency around convenience foods, around having plans in place so that you eat an appropriate amount of calories at certain times. That's really important as well. We're looking for balanced meals. Balanced meals in my world is some protein, lean proteins, some lots of vegetables, some fruit, and a little bit of starch and a little tiny bit of fat. That ends up being just a really simple way to think about how to create a balanced meal. Now, meal times. This is where busy professionals always go astray. I'm so busy, I don't know when to eat, or I skip meals. Not exciting, right? Not exactly it. So with meal timing, you want to look at your schedule and see what are you eating and when does it make sense for you to actually eat the food. Okay? Think about if you're going to have a bunch of meetings, you want to probably eat before you get to the meeting time that you have back to back to back so that you feel good and aren't hangry by the end of it. A simple saying I have with clients is eat enough food to get you to the next time you're going to eat again. For me, I eat generally around 10 or 11, 3-ish, 6-ish, 10 p.m. Those are realistic times that make sense for me in my life to eat. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't necessarily eat earlier or later. That is dependent upon the day and what's happening in my life. But because I generally know I'm eating 3 to 4 total meals in a day, I can always plan that out to be optimized to the best of my abilities. High-stress individuals. Consideration for personalized nutrition for high-stress individuals. We want to manage your stress in your stress response. If you know that food and emotional eating are big things for you, we need to create some buffers around having those go-to snacky foods or whatever you end up emotionally eating. Once we have strategies in the situation, then we can create a better reaction to the stress and not take it out with food. We want to be mindful of our eating as well. That's obviously important so that you're not overeating food just because it's there or you're stressed out and you're not paying attention. A lot of people want to just snack their way through the day. We're going to eat real food, real meals to help build the balance, the energy, the understanding of what it is that you have. And so that balanced meal of protein, fibers, carb, like fruit and vegetables, and some starch is what works best for you at regular times. Which also means that you're going to have to do some planning and preparation on the front end to avoid stress type eating or snacking. Now we have food is fitness fuel. We have workout meals. Anytime meals can be eaten anytime outside of physical activity. They aim to serve your nutritional needs. They sustain your energy, your blood sugar levels, meet your daily nutrient requirements like calories and micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, with your protein, carbs, and fats met. An example, a sandwich with lean meat, some vegetables, pasta with a lean protein source, and some vegetables on the side. Those are easy anytime meals that you can do. It takes advantage of the body's metabolic, so post-workout meals is the next one. So we want to maximize the body's metabolic response to food within 30 to 60 minutes. It's not that you have to jam a protein shake down right after you get done working out, but if you're eating dinner within an hour, that is a great time to do it. Now, aims to be quickly digested and absorbed. We want to avoid lengthy digestion processes with heavier foods. We want to make sure that we're replenishing muscle glycogen stores along the way. Muscle glycogen is stored carbohydrates that get stored in your muscle. And it also helps promote protein synthesis. So you literally just get better, you look better, you feel better because you're working out harder because you're fueling yourself. Protein shake, banana with peanut butter. I'll even do sometimes protein with some oatmeal, and some berries is a really good one that I like as well. So general rule of thumb on when should I even eat. Avoid eating immediately before workout. Now, this can be true to a certain extent. If you're going to go do a 20-mile run like Jerome, I need him eating at least 2 hours beforehand, but it might be really advantageous for him to take a simple sugar like honey right before he goes runs. He's not eating 500 calories or something, but he's going to have something to help boost the blood sugar levels and get some energy in him. So instead, we look for ultimately 1 to 3 hours before. That'll allow your body some digestion time. It'll help your body tolerate food. And you can experiment with different time frames, of course. What works best for you is what's most important. I've been known to eat a dinner meal and go out for a 10-mile run. Not that big of a deal, especially depending on what it is. I'm not going to go eat right before I do a hard workout. That's going to turn my stomach upside down, ultimately leaving me not feeling very well. So we have carbs and exercise. Pre-exercise carbs, they give you that energy boost. It helps to replenish any muscle glycogen source. It's like stopping at the gas station before you go on a journey and topping the tank off, in a sense. So restores your muscle glycogen. You reduce muscle soreness, which is helpful. The more that your body is carbed up and has adequate calories, the less sore you're going to be for the effort that you're doing, which is good. Muscle soreness doesn't necessarily mean bigger progression. It just means that your body's not used to doing a certain amount of activity. If I haven't done squats in a long time and I do a bunch of squats, I will definitely be sore. But if I've been doing squats for a long time and I add a little bit more weight on it and I'm not that sore, that doesn't mean that I didn't make any progress. It just means that I'm used to doing squats and I can do more. Support the repair and growth of muscle tissue. So you just literally can help replenish. That's why carbs are important. Don't cut them out. Time them better. Understand them better. Understand your relationship with them a lot better. Now we have protein here. Protein is definitely important for bodily functions. Supports muscle growth and recovery. Overall energy in your day. It creates sustained regulation of appetite, of your blood sugar levels. Your hair, your nails are better. Your skin feels better. Your enzyme and hormone production is better. Your immune function is better. Having adequate amounts of lean protein throughout the day is really important. Now, also say that there is protein in a lot of different foods. Even broccoli has 3 grams of protein in it. That counts. Okay, we'd want to eat that and add to our protein. So it doesn't just have to be meat-based protein. Now we have fluids. Hydrating before and after your exercise maintains overall health, optimizes physical performance, supports post-exercise recovery. If you're active, you should be drinking water. If you're a human being, you should be drinking water. And generally, women, I always suggest 60, 80 or more. Men, 80 to 100 or more, depending on your activity. I have a 40-ounce bottle here I'm sharing. It's 40 ounces. I do my first one before noon, my second one before dinner, and my third one before bed. So 40, that's 120 ounces, plus whatever else I drink. So I drink a lot. I've drank a couple times to make sure my throat keeps working and I can talk effectively here. Now, oil to the body is like oil to a car is like water to the body, meaning that fluids help reduce friction, they transport waste, they keep your skin healthy, they keep your energy up, they do a lot of things for you. And we don't want friction coming because you just aren't drinking enough. And if you drink a lot of water in a little time, yes, you will go to the bathroom. But if you're drinking 80 to 100 ounces over 16 hours, that's like 4 to 6 ounces an hour. That in and of itself is a couple gulps and not going to send you to the bathroom all day long. Oftentimes we don't drink regularly and we end up running into issues. All right, now, so these are some really easy, safe foods to eat an hour before. Banana with peanut butter, like 1 serving each. Cereal, like a cup with a little bit of milk. Your oatmeal packet with some milk. Chocolate milk and a granola bar. Just want to make sure that we're not having too much sugar and the calories aren't excessive. 300 calories would be a great pre-workout combination. More than 1 hour can actually have more of a meal in a sense, or more substance to what it is. So the banana with peanut butter with honey on a sandwich, that could be really good. Jerome on his 20-mile run, that could be a really good combination for him to get adequate calories and carbs and his energy up. We have Greek yogurt with nuts and berries. That's a good favorite of mine. Cinnamon and banana overnight oats, so carb-dense foods that can help fuel your workouts. Now we have post-workout recovery smoothie. We have low-fat chocolate milk, turkey on a whole grain or a lean ham on a whole grain with some vegetables on the side, yogurt and berries, grilled chicken and vegetables, tuna with crackers, whole grain toast with nut butter. Those are all really easy post-workouts. Or if you waited within an hour, you could just eat dinner as well. Having some protein, vegetables, maybe not fruit, and definitely a little bit of starch there as well. So, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today here with me about nutrition and fitness. I hope that you learned a lot and that you took away a lot from this talk and you're able to implement it literally today to get you moving. Please feel free to ask any questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. And thank you very much.